Okay.
I'm gassy.
All right. Welcome to Minor Disturbance Radio. Man, this is going to be a good one. We figured, screw it, we're all gonna wear shades for the sponsors at least.
At least part of it.
Yeah. So this episode is brought to you by, oh man, I can't see the board over there. Ribco, Music Go Round, Rascals, Bent River, Richie Sound, Real Track Studio, Quad City Rock Academy, which is really cool. And let's see, we got Music Mart was a new one for the last episode.
Yep.
And we just added another one, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit because we just added Ragged Records, which is which is basically like a used vinyl store that you can go and get your vinyl records. Because man, they're the coolest. We were just talking about that earlier, where the records are cool. From back in the day, you actually have something to look at. And so, as you can see behind me, I've got a few new additions to my vinyl collection here. So the guys down there are really cool. The prices are cool, and go down there and grab some vinyl and frame them like that. It makes great wall art.
Yeah, check them out.
Anyway, so that's the sponsors, and with us today, we've got a special guest, and we're bringing in the world-renowned, world-famous
Pressure's on.
Matt Finn, everybody. All right.
World-renowned? I don't know.
Well, we've been looking forward to, I've been looking forward to having you on the show ever since you said you'd do it, and I didn't think I'd be able to get you, because, when I knew you back in the day.
Oh, there it is. Early. Yes. Yes.
Does that mean you drink?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you don't have to, but back then, you were kind of hard to get a hold of in a lot of ways. You're really busy doing things, and it was just kind of hard to get a hold of you.
That still the same way today, actually. But man, I love the show, man. I love watching it.
I'm glad, dude. We have a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, man.
So let's I mean, a lot of people that are watching the show might not know of you, if they've been under a rock, but what bands were you in before all the stuff happened? I mean, what local bands did you start out in?
Oh man, let's see. I was like 18, 19 years old. I was in this band. I couldn't tell you the damn name of it, but
you guys didn't have a name.
Well, they did. I didn't give a shit or something. But we played. Was there a liquor store up a hill on Rock Island or something?
What?
I don't know.
You played at a liquor store?
Well, it was like a liquor store and a bar, and it was kind of funny because my parents are like, my dad died last summer, but they biggest supporters of me, and they came.
Sorry to hear that, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't want to just let that go by and not at least say something about it.
Oh yeah, that's cool, man. It's hard, it's tough, but they came with all people. They brought a Catholic priest. I mean, that jokes start off like that. You know what I mean? Like, okay, the drummer's parents and the Catholic priest are at a bar. Anyways. Hey, what's Father give for a blowjob? Oh, a Snickers and a Pepsi. No. That's another thing.
Here we go.
Yep.
Here we go.
But so they watch a set or something, and they left, and the biggest fight in the world starts, and the bass player. It's always the bass player, I think.
The No Name Band. Are we still talking about the band with no name?
Yeah.
And I'll probably forget what the fuck the question was. Oh, can I swear?
No. Yeah, absolutely. If you want to swear, just mean it.
Oh, okay.
Stand behind it.
So he puts his bass down and he goes, "I'll settle this," and he's walking, and it's just like the cartoon with the hook, and all of a sudden all you see is his feet and like all these arms, just. I'm like, thank God my parents are gone. They probably went to a real bar with the Catholic priest where the drinks were siffer.
Drink some wine. Yeah.
Because they do drink, I'll tell you. Well, if you take away, the you're going to drink,
I have no idea where we're going
on right now. Yeah.
All I know is I'm going to take my shades off and make you guys look like buttholes.
Oh, little redemption?
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'm going to be the only one that looks normal.
I'm looking cool this time.
Yeah, you do look pretty hot. You look kind of like you should be on Chips.
Really?
All right, Miss. Yeah, you'd be the dorky blonde one though. You're not.
John?
You're no Eric Estrada.
No,
no,
I'm not
absolutely
that cool. Really?
Yeah, yeah.
The chip reference already. All right.
Matt has been in the scene for quite a while, and he's had some opportunities or some experiences in his life that some of us have always wondered, about what it's like to do or to get in that situation business wise, and
that's the key word, folks. Business wise.
Yeah,
that's where it all goes.
Really?
The fun's gone, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit, but I mean, you wanted it since how old? 5?
As soon as I saw Kiss, I didn't know what it was yet, but I knew by when I took all my school books and laid them on my bed and broke them little cardboard things off the hangers, and and I put Kiss Alive 1 on and banged on my bed.
Yeah.
And I'd come out from the hallway too, and then I'd jump on my chair and like play the whole record all the way through,
man.
And then get done and go back out in the hallway at the end, and like act like I was backstage, towel myself off and shit. I was stupid.
Oh man, I was stupid too. We had this fireplace, and my dad built this like brick thing, and I thought it was a stage, man. I mean, that was a stage. I don't know what the hell a fireplace was, but and I would make them, sit down, and I would make these amps out of cardboard boxes and cut out guitars, and I'd be like, Strutter, and
so
whatever.
So you started out thinking you were a guitar player?
Yeah, because my brother, who's 10 years older than me, was a guitar, still is.
Right.
He's really good guitar player too.
Well, I know. I bought an amp off of him one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went up to Clinton and bought a Carvin X100B or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it blew up my first gig. So tell your brother thanks.
He probably has another one.
You were in a band called Vaduz.
Yeah.
Way back, right? And when you were underage and you were touring with that band, right?
Oh, man, there's some funny stories there too. We were playing Denver, and I had to sit in this like romper room roped off thing on our breaks, like, oh, he's only 19, he can't be out with the adults.
Wow.
And but I had a problem with the altitude, and I was getting bloody noses so I'm sitting there in this roped off booth, like kids table,
Yeah.
and I'm dabbing my nose with, tissue because my nose is bleeding. This guy's like, hey man, can I get some of that? And I'm like,
some of what?
You
I didn't know what he was asking for, man. I was like, so.
You want to lick the blood off my finger? Is that what you want, buddy?
I'm like, God bless that innocence. You know what I mean? Because guess what? I kind of failed on some of the innocence later, but
right.
That's. I don't know.
So what was, because you got a show coming up with Vaduz,
Yes.
the 31st.
Yep, in Clinton.
In Clinton. Where's it at?
McKinley Street Tavern.
Okay. And because you gave us, when was we have the Vaduz CD here. When was that recorded?
I believe last February.
Oh, so it's a real recent CD.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're back at it then.
No.
Okay.
No, we just the singer Brian wrote some new songs. There's a couple older ones, and just wanted to package the thing. There were supposed to be more songs, but he ran out of budget. He financed the whole thing,
Okay.
All right.
He did that Kickstarter thing and got his goal like boom like that, but he probably should have said a little higher. I don't know.
Well, I mean, for those who don't know what Vaduz is, they're a really, really good band. There's a lot of hooks in there. It's a breath of fresh air from what I'm used to hearing from, I guess, quote unquote, local bands. I don't know if Vaduz is considered a local band or not.
I guess I don't know.
I mean, are they all from Clinton and around there?
No, Brian, the singer's from Waterloo. Ringo's from Dubuque. Jimmy's from Clinton, but he lives in Kansas City.
Okay, you got a guy named Ringo in the band?
Yeah.
And you're the drummer?
Yeah, I was going to say. I see a problem.
All right.
How do you feel? Usually with me hands.
With me hands. Great record. By the way, the Vaduz is a really good stuff. There's a lot of hook in there, straightforward rock and roll. The singer's got an incredible voice. I think
he's a fucking dick, though. But
is he?
No.
Most singers are.
Actually, he really helped me back in the day. Like I said, I was like, I might have to crack another one. I tried out for Vaduz, and they didn't go with me. Two of them wanted me to in the band, but they went with a guy that had more road experience, and he was in the band like 4, 5, 6 months maybe, and then they called me up, and I'm like, yeah, oh, I wasn't that. Fuck you guys, you didn't want me. I was like, yeah, let's go, and it was like, it really made me become a player. I mean, I just was like spinning sticks and being a dumbass, and then we would play like Tuesday through Saturday, right? We would practice at the clubs during the day.
Oh.
To a fucking click track and shit, like even the cover songs and shit. And it was before you could go get headphones and shit, and so it was right in your wedge, just going
click, yeah, click, click.
And some of the songs, it would bump the tempos up. Say like,
well, you have to, because the record version of stuff just doesn't have the energy sometimes of.
Yeah, like Wildflower by the Cult,
Oh yeah.
And we were like,
and if I was out drinking, that's where I'd want it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it would backfire on me too, because like sometimes I'd be at a club like in Kansas City or something, and some guy go, "Man, you're a pretty good drummer, man. You play way too fast." It's like
I'm playing to a click, butthole.
Yeah. I'm like, but no.
How'd you end up in Birmingham from Clinton?
It all came.
We're skipping a whole bunch of shit here. I think.
Yeah.
It all came from Vaduz, actually. This other band that had the same agent. They were called Ice Cold July. And we had a night off, and we went to this, the big premier rock club, Rascals. It was like, I don't know, they had balconies and shit, and it was like, this is the fucking place to play. We were playing a bowling alley or something, and it was like, what the fuck? And so we went out and watched this band, and I was like, holy shit, and they played all original stuff. They were called, did I say that? Ice Cold July? And, this is a long fucking story. This might. I mean, really, it is. But it's kind of cool, especially if you knew some of the people. You'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Is there any nudity involved?
Somewhere along the line, but I'll let. Well, so we go see them, and they invite a couple of us from Vaduz to come up and play, and they did all of their own shit, and this was like, God, what year would this have been? 92.
I'd have been a year after I graduated.
Yep.
Yeah, that's.
So we watched this band, and I was just like, holy shit. I was like, oh my God, that guitar player kicks ass. He just, like, I don't know how do you say that, just demanded your attention. And
Owned it.
Yeah.
Owned it.
And then I look over at the bass player, and he's like, oh my God. And then the singer was like, oh. And I'm like, man, the drummer's good, and this is great. So they... ask us to come out, and we played like Flippin' Burgers, Rock and Roll All Night or something. I mean, I love Kiss, but not that song.
Yeah.
So did you just call playing a cheesy cover Flippin' Burgers? Mm-hmm. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Call it Flippin' Burgers.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're not having any fun doing it at all. And then you look out, and there's like 4 drunk girls trying to dance to it, and you're like, why am I here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How did I end up here?
Yeah.
This is not what my Kiss concert was like in my bedroom.
I'm in Vaduz. We go see Ice Cold July. Ice Cold July has a day off. They come and see us the next night. Well, unbeknownst to me, the bass player and the drummer had it out that night. All of a sudden, the bass player's like, "You're the bass player now."
Okay. All right.
He looks like a bass player.
Yeah.
Yep. Gotta make the bass.
If we were a band, he would definitely be the bass player.
I'd be the bass player.
Yeah.
I can see where you're going with that. Bass players rock. Man.
Yeah.
They're a different breed.
We have to get you a wig, though.
All right,
Jeff.
I go with that.
All right.
Well, he pulls me aside, the bass player, and he's like, "Dude, we want you to play drums with us." And they wanted me to pack my shit up
right now
that night and go.
Oh
yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I can't do that to these guys. I just joined the band. I'm learning, and so we part ways. I put my name on there, blah blah blah. Vaduz goes, I don't know, a year and a half more, something, I don't know, and they get sick of the road because times change. They're playing these big, house is now we're playing a little place and they shove you in the corner and turn it down. You know, a lot
Absolutely.
like anywhere around here
Right.
probably when you play, and that's
Right.
probably why not a lot of good bands play around here anymore. But anyways, did I say that?
What?
Live on the air.
Oh.
Edit
Anyways,
that out, Paul.
you know this one. Not that Paul.
No, I'm talking about Paul Stanley.
Oh, so is I. You know this one.
We have a thing with the Kiss Exposed or whatever. There's so many great one-liners in there.
Oh, my God.
You guys don't have yourselves together. You know what I mean? When he shows up, he's like, Manilow. You know what I mean? This girl sleeping on the thing behind him,
yeah.
like, you know what I mean? And then they go up, and Bruce Kulick comes down with a monkey and like 2 chicks or something. He's like, "Edit her out, Paul." He's like, "Edit her out." Okay, so as we go, you know.
I forgot all about that. That's funny.
Oh man, I watched that at the totally wrong age in my life because I believed it. I was
yeah.
like, dude,
100%.
look, they live in a mansion together and they have nothing but naked, horny chicks everywhere. And Paul Stanley's got a monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah, there was that was interesting.
Yeah, like the Motley Crue Uncensored. It's so like when you're a kid, you're just like,
Oh yeah.
and then you watch it now and like, oh my god, that was so pieced together and such crap. It's like,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to derail onto the Kiss Exposed.
I love derailing.
But you're a big Kiss fan, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I had a Kiss lunchbox, man.
Oh.
What was the first record that you got?
Oh, you mean that I purchased myself?
Yeah, when did you fall in love with Kiss? When was? Do you remember the
Oh,
moment?
I thought you were asking me what I actually.
No, I mean, because come on,
Spent
we
my
got
money
them.
on,
We got them
and
for
that's
like
that good
Christmas or something, right?
I'll never forget this one time. I was like, REO Speedwagon, what was it?
High infidelity. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, I put that on, and I'm like, oh, and so I grab a fucking tennis racket out, and I'm like in the mirror making my rock star.
Doing the faces and
Oh my
poses.
God,
Were you
getting
singing
this.
it too?
Oh, probably. I didn't.
You
know
got to
the
be
word
the
about
singer
it.
and guitar player.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then I look out of the corner of my eye, and there's my sister Maggie going.
Oh, how many times that's happened to me? I just keep going. Say, get
yeah.
out of my concert, bitches.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm like, come on, man. Did you pay? Were you on the guest list? Shut up.
Yeah, absolutely. No bitches on stage, man. Can't you see we're doing a show here? Drummers,
Really?
Yeah.
Here's what drummers do. Drummers do this. They say, well, okay, we're playing a club tonight. There's 4 55-year-old ladies trying to eat right now. What do you guys want to open up with? They telling us we got to start. Do you think we should start with, I don't know, Jesse's Girl, something the easy people want? See? Yep.
All right. What do you want to open with?
You want to open with like an original that nobody knows, that kicks ass, you know what I mean?
You said how many 50-year-olds?
There's 4 of them.
There's 4 of them.
Does it matter? Okay,
Yeah.
5. Is there a different answer for 4 of them or
Yeah.
5?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know our song list, but if it was
Okay,
here,
so-
I would tell you what.
Okay, yeah. Would you open with something really heavy and whoop ass?
Probably not. In
Yeah.
all honesty.
Yeah. Okay, because usually drummer logic says my drummer would want to open with our heaviest whoop ass tune, and like if they don't like it, they can leave. You know what I mean? And I was always going, wow, I kind of want to.
They can
not
hurry
get
up.
They're gonna
fired.
leave as soon as they wipe their chin, anyways, man. Like,
They can eat their coleslaw and get out of here.
Yeah, I get it. You know, but first of all, screw the bar for making you start when there's 4 old ladies eating.
Right.
what's this green shit on the plate? That reminds me. That reminds me of a joke. What's the difference between parsley and pussy? Nobody eats parsley.
I do. I thought it was good for you and stuff.
Well, it is. It's good for the digestion.
No, that's kale.
Oh, damn! I had it backwards. I've been eating that shit all this time. Damn it!
It's just for decoration.
I smoke it. Dry it out and smoke it. Try
Really?
it. Yeah.
And then go jam to Tom Petty.
No, I've changed my mind. I got somebody else that I want to get stoned with now.
Oh, who we add into the list?
Joe Rogan.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. I love UFC, and Joe Rogan's a smart fucker, and I want to talk about conspiracy theories with him.
Who's going to talk more, you or Joe?
Oh man.
Joe, 'cause he's way smarter than me.
Okay.
I'm like, what? Oh, go ahead, keep talking, Joe. I got this big man crush on Joe Rogan.
Really?
I'm not gay at all, but if I could pick somebody I want to be best friends with, besides Jeff, it'd be Joe Rogan. I love that guy. Okay, let's clarify one thing. People that are listening, they're hanging on the edge of like, well, okay, what's the big thing
what's
here?
going on?
Well, ever since.
Yeah, this guy's an ass.
Who's this guy? He was just walking by the studio, and we just said, "Hey, come in and do a podcast."
He said, "We'll work for food." We're like, come on in.
So, anyway, when I was talking about bands and when you get in a band, ever since I've been in a band, my goal was to get a record deal, do a record, do a music video, go on tour, make millions of dollars, and the whole thing. You know what I mean? Because you think it all goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
And Matt,
everything up to the $1 million does pretty much.
Yeah. Well, Matt, you were in a band, Mars Electric, and you were signed to
first Atlantic, then Sony. And then, after it was kind of defunct and whatever.
So how'd you get with Mars Electric then?
Okay, we're back in Denver.
Denver's like a catalyst for everything.
The road to everything through Denver. No.
All right.
Okay, so Ice Cold July, I met Carl, the bass player. He's originally from Birmingham, Alabama. So, Vaduz decided, hey, we're just going to play regionally. And everybody in the band was like, screw that, we want to still go on the road, blah, blah, blah. Which was ironic about that is the band broke up and then everybody did that. Played regionally. I was in a band and this is probably where I met Billy.
Billy Pfeiffer, for those who don't know the Billy. We all have a Billy tie-in.
I think Mr. Rogers.
I remember Mr. Rogers.
Maybe Vaduz played Mr. Rogers once when I met Billy, but then Rock Pig was the band.
Pig. Yeah, that's one that was back here in my head, but I think that's when I first saw you.
Where was that? What?
Clinton band, a bunch of my buddies.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
And that was a fun band, man.
Was Robbie Barr in it?
Here's the story.
Okay.
Boy, I wonder if does Robbie watch this show?
No.
And no offense, Rob, but this is how it went down. Ringo from Vaduz was in Rock Pig originally for about a month or two, and he was up in Dubuque, so he was going. And we would play Clinton like 20 days out of the month. I mean,
oh, geez.
And he's going back and forth. Dubuque, it's like an hour,
right?
But, I mean, that would take its toll, And he decided that was too much, and then Rob Barr comes into the picture. He just moved back from L.A. or something, and that's gonna stink.
Excuse us for a second.
And so he comes and he watches us. Some shithole.
You're right, that does stink. Yeah. Somehow that just made its way around in here.
I'm telling you, man, it was really this like pork chop with this sauce, and it was awesome. But man, it's coming back.
Sounds good.
Thank God it's upstairs and not downstairs, man.
It sounds good. The leftovers aren't so good. Just so you know.
What am I supposed to do?
So get to the part where you're ripping on Robbie.
Well, he comes to some shithole we're playing in Rock Falls, and I don't really want to talk about him a whole lot, but
let me clarify
I like
too.
him,
let me clarify my relationship with him, and the reason why I'm being sarcastic or facetious about it is just Robbie is and I have kind of one of them relationships where if we do run into each other, I can tell by the way he's talking to me that he would rather not be talking to me. You kind of feel that from him, like he's constantly looking past you to do something else.
Probably because you weren't talking about him.
Well, okay. Well, and like I say,
that's enough about that. What do you think about me?
But then again, you got. But then again, you got to remember.
Sorry, Rob.
Then you got to remember too that I was a different person back then too, and we're talking about it back then. You know what I mean? That's how we remember each other. Sometimes is from 20 years ago. You know what I mean, or 10 years ago, or whatever it is. And then that person changes so much. And he could be a totally different person now. I'm just saying, back then we butted heads a few times.
Oh yeah.
Over stupid shit. Mostly ego related.
Well. Or maybe money if you played the Pigpen. See, because look at the name of that band or the bar.
Right, Rock Pig. Right.
Pigpen.
Right.
Okay, so.
See, I thought that's where it originated from.
Well, maybe
it was Robbie's
from
band.
One of our.
Right.
No.
It wasn't? Okay, see, I don't know what I'm talking about.
He got brought into it, and I remember we played Rock Falls. We came back to the bass player's house and had a party, and we were younger than him, by I don't know, 5 to 10 years at least.
Right.
And he had some trophy fucking wife or bimbo or whatever on his arm, and we're all probably half naked wrestling, and the bass player body slams me, and I'm like, oh, and he's like, what are you doing? You're gonna break your drummer's arm, and Chris, my buddy, he's like, you here to sell insurance or party? Shut the fuck up. and so the next day they have a powwow. We're gonna have this guy replace Ringo. Ringo doesn't want to do it anymore. I'm like, man, I'm done. If that, nope. And well, he got in the band, and I don't think the band lasted. Well, I don't know, because here now it's gonna relate back to Ice Cold July, if you're following.
I'm following.
So, we played a lot, man. We played more than you can play nowadays. Rock Pig.
Okay.
And I mean, there was times we played, I don't know, 20 dates out of the month. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
And I'll never forget this one time, and then I'll get back to the story. But we played up in Savannah.
I gotta draw a map. Hold on.
We played up in Savannah, and they're like, we drew pretty good for back then, and it was up. I mean, because there's a factory in Clinton, Custom Pack, and all these guys that got off at 11.
Right.
And like Thursday nights are the best. They got their paycheck. They at the Bootlegger and Clinton.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They cashed their, and it was just shots and.
Right.
I mean, it was just like, there's no way I could do that now. I mean, no way. But so this bar in Savannah wants us, and we go up there, it's cool, and the weird thing about it was like the drums. It was like, almost like an ISO booth in the studio. It was like there was like a front wall right there. I was like in a room by myself. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
This is lame.
Wow.
So like the first two sets, I'm like throwing the stick off the wall and catching it, just trying to amuse myself. And I'm like, I mean, the only thing that would have been worse is if the salad bar was right next to me, And
the cottage cheese is still warm.
Yeah. Oh, that's not cottage cheese.
I got one for you before we get too far into that. I've actually played before somewhere, and I'm not going to say where it was because a good buddy of mine owned the place, but it was kind of funny how long they kept the kitchen open, and we play our first few songs, and there'd be one that's really cool at the end, and it goes, digga, 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 down. You know what I mean? Or something, and I'm like, wow, at the end or something. Yow! And it's like, digga, digga, pow. And dude goes, bing, fries are up. And the window to the kitchen was right by the stage, man. So, and I'm like, seriously? I'm up here in my bedazzled pants and shit.
Like from...
Yeah. I even hit a pose at the end like this or something. And like,
fries are up.
Bing, fries are up. I'm like, that really kind of reminds you of where you're at. You know what I mean? Because in my mind, I was thinking, I'm a huge rock star here. Right. You know what I mean? And then, we got two drunk girls dancing, and their boyfriends are plugging their ears and shit. We're doing good, man. Bing, fries are up. I quit.
The night's ruined.
My stories aren't going to be as good as yours, Matt, but they're a lot quicker.
Oh, I'm dragging it.
No, just
well, okay. This bar in Savannah, they want us to play, and so we're playing, and they said, "You guys can have anything you want to drink, anything." So the first 2-3 sets sucked. We only played 4, so the last one was great. But we just pounded. I mean, just. And I remember we were playing something, and I was like on a downbeat, and I passed out. And I look up, and everybody in the band, they were like this, and I just went, and I went right back where I thought I was, and we were joking about it, like probably later, maybe years later, like, man, it just sounded like a big CD skip, It's like, well, that's cool. So the next night we played 2 nights. The next night they're like, 1 shot, 1 beer set.
Yeah,
that's it.
So you passed out while you were drumming?
Yeah, but
Right. Like drooling on your floor, Tom?
Well, just for a second, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. A few times I've had to go behind the kit and
Oh, wow.
yeah.
With Mars Electric, when you got the call to be in, because they basically enlisted you, right? They found you somehow, or how did they find out about you?
No, that's going back to the story in Denver. No, but okay. Well, okay, so all right, Vaduz breaks up. I'm working like 2 or 3 jobs ago. I think I was working 2 jobs and playing with Rock Pig, and one day I went to Co-op in Clinton, and I'm just browsing and shit, and I see this CD, and I see Ice Cold July. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me! They put a CD out, and then I saw them in Hit Parader magazine.
Wow.
And I'm like, like they had that Rock on the Rise section or something.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, God damn, that's great! I know these guys,
Right.
I could have been in that picture, but I didn't, and I ain't shitting you, man. It wasn't a week after I had that CD, and my parents were living in LeClaire, and I was listening to it on the radio or something, and I think I wrecked my car, and I had my brother-in-law's car.
It always seems like it's going nowhere, and then it ends up with something drastic.
So I'm borrowing my brother-in-law's car.
I think I wrecked my car or something.
I think something happened, and I was my brother-in-law was loaning me his car, and I'm like making that turn before Princeton, and all of a sudden, and like smoke. It looks like a fog hat concert. It's like, what the fuck, man?
And then Mars Electric came in a helicopter and saved you, or I'm like,
no. And so, hey, wait, I'm getting to that. That's McMaster.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, I'm getting to that.
I'm getting to that.
So anyways, this is before cell phones and all that fun shit. So I had to walk. And like when you're walking and it's dark and shit, I mean, you hear weird shit like and I'm like, oh my God. My butthole's like clenching up and shit. I'm like, ah. And so I'm walking through Princeton, and I'm like, God dang, man, LeClaire is a ways from here, And my parents actually lived on the Bettendorf side of LeClaire, and I just happened to turn and look down this road in Princeton, and there was like this light coming from heaven, and there was
and Mars Electric came out of it.
Yeah, no, and there was this telephone, and I heard like. And so I called my buddy, and he had to drive from Clinton to come get me. Which, how did I pay for that? Maybe I had one of those calling cards. Remember calling cards?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. You had to put in like 25 numbers. And, yeah, it was fun.
Oh my God! Before cell phones, man. You kids, you have no idea.
Right.
So, anyways, okay, so I get home. I'm pissed off. I just bought this kick-ass CD from my buddies down in Dallas, Texas. They're from Dallas. And I get home, and I'm not shitting you. There's a note that says, Mick Tinsley from Dallas, Texas called. Want you to call him. I'm like, and I said to my buddy, I goes to him, I says, should I call him right now? It's like fucking 4 in the morning. He's like, well, fuck yeah, man. And so I called him. He's like, dude, man, we want you to come down. We fired our drummer. We want you to come down and try out. I'm like, all right. So get an airplane ticket down and fly down there, and I'm like the first guy to audition. And they were probably the at the time the shit hot coolest fucking group of guys I'd ever seen play in a band. And I was like, man. So I sat there on the plane. I listened to the songs. I'm like, and they gave me like 4 of the 12 songs to learn or whatever. And I'm like, I think I got this, And I was really trying to. I'm like, man, that is not exactly how I'd play it, but I better do it how it is on the album,
Right.
They're promoting the album or whatever. And when we go to this, a buddy of theirs has a music store, and we're talking, and
I don't mean to stop. How did they know how to get a hold of you? Is this?
Oh, because the napkin from
coaster.
Okay, so this is
the coaster. Yeah,
this is ice cold. This is ice cold. This is ice cold.
July.
Okay.
And this is Carl, and it'll be a real long story. I'll get back to why I can't believe he even kept my damn name because.
Wow.
Well, I didn't have a vagina and tits, basically.
Right, yeah.
No. But, so I go down there, I fly down there, and I audition. And they're like, well, before I audition, they're like, don't play the songs how they are on the album. I'm like, okay. So I was like, well, I have nothing to lose. So I just kind of, this is what I do, you know, and I did it. Mm-hmm. And they're like, cool, man, we're going to jam. Why don't you go over these 3 other songs that we're going to do, work up some ones that we're working on.
From the way I understand it, the song Someday from Mars Electric was, from what I remember, it was the 4th most added song to FM radio at one point.
It was crazy, like,
wow.
What we learned, I guess, after the fact was basically we were doomed from the start because there was a higher up from Kalodner who had him by the balls and was destroying everything he put out there.
Oh.
So here you have a group of guys that all they ever wanted since they were 5 years old, you know, performing in front of their parents with kiss makeup on or whatever.
Right.
And you totally ruin their lives right there. Congratulations, buddy. You know what I mean, though? It's like, I'm not bitter, but they have no idea how much they're affecting someone's life. You know what I mean? And now, where's the record business now? Thank you, karma.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
in the
you
toilet.
don't need it. And actually, the more you learn about it, all it is a bank anyways.
Yeah,
Destroying it because they didn't like the music? Or just that genre of music? Or why do you think that...
They had...
They're
2
shutting
guys
down?
had a tiff or something. And he was... The one guy higher up was just putting on to everything he was putting out, you know. But Kalodner was actually, at that time, he had Portrait. He was doing a lot of 80s bands. And I don't know how serious they took a lot of that. I mean, I hate to say that, but at the time, which would have been, well, that came out in 99 or something like that.
Right, 98, 99.
Yeah, that was a weird time for music anyway. But
They just signed Rat and I think Great White and stuff like that. Yeah.
And we went out with Great White and Dockin and all through Florida. And that was some fun times, man. I was like, at first I was like, we're going out with those guys, you know, like, what the hell, you know?
Yeah.
And then, so we go out with them and a lot of times we were unannounced and we played the House of Blues in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and unannounced, and it was an awesome stage, and they had this big velvet curtain and you know, all these fucking people in there ready for Great White and Doc, and then all of a sudden, and we're giving it to them, and they look at us like, and then all of a sudden they were like, whoa, and they got into it, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, I was like,
well, there's a certain validity to a band that's playing on a bill like that for some reason, because when Drop Hammer used to open for Nationals, they called them Nationals, but they were, you know, I mean, you can't consider back then Rat was they were touring the nation, but they weren't playing arenas or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my thing of a national band is, you know, playing the iWireless and that type of thing, but you know, they came through, Drop Hammer got through on every bill, and I could tell if we were there by ourselves playing a gig, how people reacted as compared to if we were playing in front of like Firehouse. You know, all of a sudden you're legit, you know, and they're like looking at you like you're something special and stuff, you know, and I'm thinking in my head like I'm gonna be, you know, working in the warehouse tomorrow morning. they don't know that I'm from Davenport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They think we're from LA or something. You know what I mean? If they don't know who we are, then they're like, wow, who are these guys with eyeliner on? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah,
guy liner,
whatever. I didn't give a shit. I borrowed it from my girlfriend. I didn't care.
same thing.
I just wanted black around my eyes. I thought it looked cool. My drummer wouldn't let me go on stage without eyeliner. Now the wrinkles and eyeliner don't go together unless you're Keith Richards. Yeah, you can get away with it then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyway, you were saying you were in this huge rock band that was signed, and you were on the verge of making millions. Because I can tell you, me and Pfeiffer, when that happened to you, we caught wind of it, and I was kind of hearing it secondhand of what was going on, and Bill was kind of informing me of what was going on. And I was like, man, that Matt's he's gonna go, man. It's on, because I heard that song and I went, this is a hit song, man. It's a hit song. He's gone. He's gone. You could have easily been, you know what I mean, on Cribs.
Well, that's kind of sore.
Well, I mean, you might be still. I don't know. But so.
No, you know what? Because when I came back, we had talked about doing a little fun project, and I was like, yeah, that sounds great, you know. And then, you know what? There's just part of me that this is the worst part of the whole deal. I have a lot of great stories, and, you know, there might be long. And I don't know if
you're fine. You're fine.
I don't know if I've even made the ends meet yet, but
yeah, we still know nothing about you, man. At all.
Yeah,
I know that you had a car crash.
Yeah, and there's a phone with a light.
yeah.
Yeah, and it was in Denver.
And see, now I just forgot what the fuck I was talking about anyway. The worst part about it all is the business. When you said business,
right,
that's what started this black cloud in my noggin, the fucking squirrel running on the thing.
Right.
Fuck you, Alvin. No, that's Chipmunk, not a squirrel. So the business part about it take your soul. And when we were talking about doing something that would have been fun, it would have been great. And
first of all, what you're talking about is
I didn't want to play.
Yeah.
I did not want to play.
So when the Mars Electric thing stopped,
so I'm like, God damn them for taking that from me, because I've wanted that since I was 5.
Right.
All I've ever loved to do is play in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a shit if you pay me in bologna sandwiches and a 6-pack. But unfortunately, I can't pay my house payment now that way.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, well, when you're 20, you don't give a shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, or even in the 30s.
Give me a bean burrito and you know.
And you think, I'm on top of the world. I don't give a shit. You know, I don't know what a mortgage is.
So when the record deal comes in, you're in Mars Electric, you're in a signed band, you've got the number 4 most added song to radio at the time. I mean, what's going on in Matt Finn's head? Are you like Paul Stanley said, you know, you better strap yourself in because the ride's about to begin?
No, I didn't.
You didn't even feel like anything special was happening?
Not really, no. And I think that's humble upbringing and Midwestern mentality, I think. But a lot of the music business and, you know, number 4 added blah 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 chart or whatever, that doesn't mean anything to me, you know. And the music business is a lot of fucking name dropping. And it's like, oh, hey, you dropped that, you know. Like,
right. Right.
It's like, I don't give a shit. I mean, because what taught me about that is there's an A&R guy who somebody said he's responsible for this band, this band, this band, this band. And I had a 28-inch kick drum at the time, which is...
I know. That was kick-ass, by the way.
You know, at the time, or, you know, it's not your standard one or whatever. It's not your standard one now, you know. That's why I got a 32 now. I'm one of the kids, but no, anyway, I'm just kidding. I was making up for my small penis.
I was wondering if we were going to get to that.
Yeah.
That's why I have a 4-inch kick drum.
I call it Moby.
I trigger it.
Well, then you be Moby, dick.
What was it that made you want to drum, Matt?
Man. Well, my brother was a guitar player. I tried, like in 2nd grade, I tried to play guitar, and they would, like, I can't remember what they were trying to teach you, but I'm like, I want to learn Calling Dr. Love, man. This sucks. Like, you know, like, I'm trying to think. Mary Had a Little Lamb or something. You're just
dude.
Yeah.
We should be brothers. Because when I was 7, my mom took me down to Bolby's or something downtown Rock Island. I can't remember. It was by the Clipper.
Right.
I didn't know what the Clipper was then, but
right.
She said, "Oh, you want to play guitar? Okay. Well, actually, she almost made me play guitar because I drummed first, believe it or not. And there's no volume on a drum set in the house. And my mom was smart enough to realize, wait a minute, electric guitars, you have a volume on them. Cool. So anyway, I get to the guitar thing. I go to take lessons first day. As soon as my mom wasn't in earshot, he's like, "Okay, we're gonna play Mary Had a Little Lamb, and it's an E, F, and G here. It's on one string." And I was like, Detroit Rock City, dude.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm here to learn Detroit Rock City. And if you don't show it to me, I quit. You know what I mean? He's like,
Right.
I don't know Kiss songs, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, so I quit.
Oh.
And I went home and taught myself. Anyway, go ahead with your. We have a similar story. They're trying to teach you something that you weren't interested in doing.
I think, let's see, I think when I was 5, my dad, you remember Eagles food stores?
Mhm.
He was a manager.
Okay.
And somebody that worked there was selling a drum set, and it was Christmas time or something, and I got this blue sparkle kit. It was fucking sweet, and here I am in my Kiss pajamas, and I'm doing this.
Yep.
But evidently it got put, I lost interest in that because my brother was probably playing. He had this band, in high school. He's about 10 years older than me. And I remember one time their drummer didn't show up, and they used to practice in our living room. And I know the song that they were playing was we're gonna pause. Taking Care of Business.
Oh yeah.
And and they were like jamming it, and the drummer wasn't there, and I just went up behind them, and I was like, and they were like,
dude, yeah.
And then the drummer came, and he looked like I had my small wieners and his wife's ass or something. You know what I mean? I'm like, because I was sitting on his
Right. Yeah.
and his dad was actually like the medical examiner of Clinton County, and he probably had the sweetest drum kit in the world.
Right.
And probably like the Vista Light Swirl or something, back then, just
Yeah.
like. And he was pissed that I was sitting there. But anyways, fast forward to.
No,
Okay.
I want to pause there for a second because when you played Taking Care of Business or
BTO, yeah.
when you played it with guitars and other people, were you not stoked to play that song?
Oh yeah,
It was like the only time in your life you ever thought that song was cool to play, right?
I'm sure.
yeah.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah,
but
yeah, because you had to be riding high. You're like, I'm playing like with a band.
I'm
that's
like
the
playing
first.
with my brother and his
Right.
buddies,
Right.
man. It's
Right.
like, come on,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
And so let's see. Oh, well, I tried to switch to guitar, and that was just not happening, And then I don't know. I think it was like 5th or 6th grade. I was listening to like 97X back in the day, and some song came on, and I was like, oh.
We're thinking about we're having koozies made, and we're thinking about one side of the koozie is going to say Minor Disturbance Radio, of course, whatever, and then on the back it's going to say Back in the Day, all drink,
All
or
drink or
something like
something,
that.
yeah.
Because I say Back in the Day a lot. Apparently, I'm old, so I have all my stories are back in the day. You know what I mean?
And see, I've seen that on the episodes, and I didn't pick up on it. I'm just saying.
Well,
it, but
when
it's
you
just like
right, and then but
See?
you're really old when you start saying Back in the good old days. If I start saying that, it's over.
We haven't gotten there yet.
time to polish the gun. No.
So you're a drummer, and what bands was it that obviously we talked about Kiss? Was that your first thing that made you? What was it that like turned you on to music in general?
Well, yeah, Kiss probably. Get the Tupperware shit out.
And what experience though? Did you see a record, or did you see them on TV? What happened?
I'm not exactly sure, but I remember when Phantom of the Opera was about to come on.
You mean Kiss meets the Phantom of the
Yeah.
Opera, the greatest movie ever
Phantom
made?
of the Park, you mean?
It might as well have been.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Really,
I'm
guys?
sorry.
Really? Am I alone here?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I remember I was
Singers and drummers don't know that shit. Bass players
Bass
always
players
know that
know
shit.
this guy knows.
You remember like the 70s were awesome for a lot of things, especially like
Chips.
drinkware and ashtrays.
Are you talking about the ashtrays with a beanbag on the bottom? You ever seen them? It's like a beanbag with
Sure,
an
but
ashtray on
there was
top.
always
They
like
were
these like
awesome.
Yeah, you put them in the car so they don't.
man, I'm just trying to stamp out my cigarette, not mail a postcard to you. It's like Idaho, But I remember this glass that we had was like green, but I was drinking orange pop, and it was like, oh, fucking like.
This is going to be about Kiss, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like,
was it a
I'm like,
hookah? What
I'm
are
like
you
looking,
doing?
I'm like, at 7 o'clock it's starting, man, on NBC or whatever, and I'm like, I'm choking, and like finishing my orange pop.
Okay.
And my dad's like, Jesus Christ, it's still gonna be there when you're done. Slow down, And I'm
And
like,
plus, Kiss wasn't in it until like the last 15 minutes of it.
Were they ever
Yeah.
even in it? I don't know.
Them really? No, they were not really.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah.
But I
We're
was
just ordinary human beings. That's how Peter Criss sounds.
yeah. And it wasn't like a black dude that played Ace.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in one of the fight scenes.
That obviously worked out for Kiss though. I mean, they really took that movie and went.
Nowhere?
I mean, they
regretted it.
No, I mean they went with merchandise and shit.
Well,
Maybe not movies.
They
But
were
Yeah.
going that way, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Kiss coffin. Come on.
dude, I want to kiss urn because if what if you get? They got to think about these angles. What if you get cremated? You need an urn, right?
You better license it before Gene does.
I tell you what, if I died before you guys, seriously, I thought about this the other day.
Okay, here we go.
Please, 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 I want to be cremated, put in an urn, and then put right. I mean, put me right kind of in front of Paul Stanley's amp.
Okay.
And just let me be at a Kiss concert on stage somewhere.
Oh, all right.
They would never let that fly.
No.
And maybe for $10,000 they would. But I mean,
Maybe we can take your ashes.
they might get an idea. They're like, hey, if you die for $10,000, we'll take you on stage with us.
Yeah.
You'll have the full Kiss experience.
What's
the VIP package.
What's Jean's daughter's name?
Sophie?
Sophie, yeah.
Well, Sophie needs a vaginal wart removed, so that's gonna cost $12,000. So you can do it for that.
Why does she have a vaginal wart? Exactly.
Excuse me.
There goes our chances of ever being friends with Gene Simmons. You
Yeah.
just break the headphones. There you go.
No.
Yeah.
I think Paul Stanley's going to knock on your door one day.
Yeah.
Were you talking about that?
Here's my chance. Next time I meet Paul, I'll be Paul. He'll be like, listen, man, I watched your Minor Disturbance radio shit, and listen, man, I don't appreciate you talking about vaginal warts on Gene's daughter. Unless
Yeah, and it's done.
yeah,
That's your chance.
Yeah, so there we go. This show is off the rails.
Oh.
Well, first of all, Matt won't answer any questions.
What do you mean?
I threw away the paper.
Well, he's answering them, but
Where are we at?
exactly. So now we're at the point where you're falling in love with Kiss. Was that your first band or was it somebody else?
Oh, Kiss.
It was Kiss. Okay.
But when you were saying what was your your Kiss, your first Kiss,
Right. Experience.
Your first Kiss
your
experience?
album?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh no, I gotta talk about that.
Oh.
I'm married.
Did you know Paul Stanley?
Oh,
I'm sorry, Paul Stanley.
you know this one. What the fuck was
Listen,
that?
I was sitting in the seventh. I was sitting in the second or seventh row at Mark at the time, and when Kiss was there, and he could see me, and because I was we're standing up, me and my girlfriend at the time, we were right there, and we're looking at him, and he literally looked at me, and he did the smirk thing. Mm-hmm. Put his knock-kneed his knees, moved his guitar to the side, stuck 2 fingers in his mouth, simulating fellatio, and licked his finger off like this, and then at me, and I was like, yeah! And then I kind of thought about it. I was like, I just cheered for that. He just I don't know if he was hitting on me or what, because I know he was looking right at me. I mean, at Star, it was like in the movie, it was laser beaming my ass. You know what I mean? And I was like, that's my idol, man. And he did that, and I'm like, oh my God, Paul Stanley just did that in front of me. He knock-kneed himself and bent over.
Oh my Lord!
And did that, and I was like, wow, that's the man that I've worshipped my whole life and emulated. I remember times I'd be playing a drop hammer and I'd do that little trot he does to the side and kind of do this with my hair, and because you're living out fantasies, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I'm up there, and I'm thinking I'm Paul Stanley all of a sudden. You know what I mean? I'm like, I did that, and I'm like, that was cool, right? And people are like, don't do that, dude. Don't do that. I'm like, what's wrong with this? And they're like, well, first of all, you notice how how Paul talks like this, right? You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, I never thought in a million years that Paul was gay. I just thought it was, as a kid, you didn't know what that meant. You know what I mean? You just thought that he was gutsy. You know what I mean? And in touch with his feminine side. And like I said, I don't know either way. Paul Stanley could come out tomorrow and say that he's gay, and I would be like, I don't care. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's too late now. I've already done this on stage in front of everybody. So.
Rob Halford. I mean,
yeah, I know. It's like some of the most talented people in the world are gay. That's probably why I never got signed. And you did. Oh. What are you talking about, man?
Yeah. Here's your chance.
Okay, so guys, that's one dick.
We're in Denver. And
yeah.
It's one night in Denver.
Yeah. So you fall in love with like the whole rock and roll thing. Were you into the whole show? Because obviously the throwing sticks and all that stuff. Where'd that come from? I mean, where did you pick that up?
Well, I mean, a lot of people might think things like, you know, Tommy Lee, blah blah blah, but it actually happened. My buddy who passed out at Billy's show the last week or whatever. I think we were in 5th or 6th grade, and we went to Shogun here in Davenport, and I saw the guy flip the shit like that, and I'm like, I can fucking do that with drumsticks.
Are you serious?
Really?
That's how.
That's exactly where I got the idea. Then here comes MTV, and you see
Enough's Enough.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
That's probably the best showman of all time, Vic Fox.
Vic Fox.
And I met him a bunch, man.
That's Terry, my drummer's favorite drummer. I mean, he's idolize him.
Right.
As a matter of fact, that leads me into a story of when you got to like play with Enough's Enough, and Terry loves Enough's Enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably not a bigger Enough's Enough fan than me.
Listen,
Great band.
For 5 seconds, Terry was a little jealous, possibly, of you, only because of you were another guy that was doing kind of what he does, and you know what I mean. And
Okay.
you know how that works.
You keep telling this, and then I'll tell my story.
Oh.
Here's my story. They were late. Rob actually asked me to be like that was the beginning stages of that was like the beginning stages of the Pigpen,
Right.
I think. And he was like, you need to be my I don't even remember what the title would be, but the guy to represent the club if they wanted a fucking 9-volt battery at
Walgreens or wherever. Yeah.
I went and got it.
Okay.
So
Hospitality. What is that like?
Bitch.
Okay. so you got
Yeah, exactly.
So you for Enough's Enough, you were their bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're late. They clip a car coming in
Oh.
the parking lot in their bus. Whose car is it?
Yours?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and I'm their runner.
Right. Runner.
Okay.
Runner bitch.
And yeah. Yeah. And I'm not running for that though. But there's a lot of years there that I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah,
is
we're
going
kind of
on.
confused too because it's all over the map here.
Well, you're not even writing. With
Well,
that.
no, I threw that one away.
Anywho,
We're just never going to air this episode, probably.
yeah, okay. I'm having fun. I don't give a shit.
We're gonna call it something else. It's gonna be Matt Finn presents Matt Finn's Experience, and we're the guests on your show.
All right. So basically, my buddy and Rob convinced them to let me come up and play because it hit my car.
Oh, so
And it wasn't the greatest car in the world. It was my dad's old car. I think it was a Corsica.
okay.
And I called it the Of Corsica. I don't know, just a little something I had for.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Drummer. Yeah. Bass would be boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Anyways, so they're like, no, man, we don't let people come up. So I'm like, I don't give a shit. I want to watch you guys play. And that was when Ricky Parent was in the band.
Right. Yeah.
And finally, Donnie, he was fucked up, man. And they're like, all right, you can come up. I'm like, what are we playing, man? And he's like, Revolution by the Beatles. I'm like, all right. And Donnie grabs me by the shirt and he's like, don't fuck up. Do you know what happens when people fuck up? I'm like, no. Don't fuck up. That's all he said.
Really?
So I get up there and we had played that song in a band I was in or something, so I knew it. I think actually Rock Pig played it, and I think Vaduz played it. And I'm like, as long as you play like the Beatles,
Right.
stop
Right.
and start it like
Right.
that. I can probably do it. And I was nervous because that was like playing with.
Your heroes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we start playing the song, and I'm fucking nervous, man. I can feel my heart is putting my shirt up like this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I just
You like-
first I don't know why, but I put my head down, and I was like, and I put my head down, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm just gonna go for it.
Yeah.
And I just started playing,
Doing what you do.
and all of a sudden Chip turns around and he looks at me, and I had a smile on my face, and he hits Donnie, and Donnie plays the whole fucking song. He turns around and was watching me the whole time, and I was like, this is the shit, man. I was like,
The whole place was watching.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
I was there too.
It was. I remember it happening, and Terry was standing with me, and we were just green. You know what I mean? With envy. You know what I mean? We're like, how in the hell did? He must hang out with enough snuff all the time. You know what I mean? He's probably got him,
well, I met
in
him
his
a couple-
Rolodex.
I met him a couple of other times, and they wouldn't remember me. This dude from Clinton had a DW drum kit, and I think him and I were the first two to have one in Iowa. Well, we get done with the song, and Chip jumps over the, and then Donnie does, and I'm mangled, and they just wrecked the fucking kit. I mean, I was like, shit all over, and I'm like, that's my dude. That's like gods to me, and they're on top of me, and I just played a song with them. I was like, that was pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I know
So-
Brennan, who was there, was probably like, motherfuckers.
We're talking about how you liked your idols on top of you. At that, well, here's my idols. They're on top of me, and yeah.
Well, this one time I was in
cop
a
a feel at
urinal
all?
with George Michael, and all of a sudden a sock puppet came out.
you mean he reached between your legs with a sock puppet, like, hi? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, there was this hole in the wall. I mean, I was just rollerblading in California. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
He's like, I gotta take a leak, man.
Lamb chop. Nope. Not here.
Oh man.
No, that was pretty cool, but to be jealous of how that happened,
Well, it's cool that you're truthful
It
about
was
it,
cool.
man.
Yeah.
And you know what? Here's the funniest part about that. After the show, we got done with the show or whatever, and I go up in the bus, and the bus driver's exchanging insurance things to me, and
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I ended up getting a check for like $2,200, and all they do was take out a taillight, and I went and got a used one for $65.
Oh.
So they cut you a check right then?
No, I got it in the
Okay.
mail.
Okay, I got you.
The
All right.
bus company. But while that was going on, they borrowed my double pedals because Rob was like, "Oh, they need some double pedals for the show." I'm like, "Blah blah blah blah, whatever." Someone fucking steals them. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And like double pedals at the time were like, that was a mint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And they're like, "Oh, we don't have it here. Nobody took it." And then maybe somebody else went with it, but I'm like, man. So I decided to start playing with single pedal. And so that was probably right when I was getting in Mars Electric, and I played across the country, and I took a lot of pride in this. People were like, "Man, what kind of double pedal do you play?" And I'm like, "I don't play one." And they're like, "Bullshit." I'm like,
Single
"Go up
foot?
and look." And they would look, and they're like, "Holy shit." I'm like, but then I got old, fat, and lazy now, and I'm like, I got the double pedals.
Double pedals again.
Wow.
Yeah, that's like if I could only play the guitar with downstrokes. You know what I mean? I'd be screwed. Unless you're Hetfield. Hetfield could do like
Right.
30-second notes downstroking. But let's not talk about stroking. Matt gets a little excited when we talk about that.
He wants to go rollerblading.
Ooh.
So how many gigs do you think you've played in your life, Matt?
Oh my lord, I have no clue. I don't even know where I would come up with that number.
How many states?
Oh,
Have you played in every state?
a lot. Shit. I played Montana.
Sounds like you made it.
So I mean, just for people that have never been on the road, or and really know what it's like day to day to really be on the road, because a lot of us, we play Friday, Saturday night, and we get our kicks, and we go back to work Monday through Friday, and we dream of, oh man, I wish I did this for a living. When you bite off the real deal, what's that like? What is it? Is it fun all the time, or is it?
If you let it be, I mean, for sure. I guess I I didn't think of it as a day-to-day job because that's all I did for a while. And it was like, I really didn't have to pay many bills or anything. A lot of shit's taken care of for you.
Yeah.
When you get to a certain level, it's like, I remember one day at our management office and we had to do the rider thing.
Oh, yeah.
What we went on a rider, you know,
Right.
and then you hear all the, you know, M&Ms and this
Right.
and that, and I was like, oh, man, I bet you half the fucking people don't even read this, and I think that's the whole purpose of
Right.
it, is to make them read it, and I'm like, tube socks, I want new socks, and I'll be damned if some of the shows,
Really?
that's the worst part about being on the road, doing laundry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, new socks, throw these ones away, I ain't.
Or finding a good bathroom is what I've heard too.
Oh man, I got someone's.
We can have a whole episode
Yeah, right.
about bathrooms on the road.
Oh man, that's not good.
So you got tube socks on your rider.
Yeah, and actually it was fulfilled a few times.
Really?
Yeah.
Man,
Wow.
Now, in '78, when Kiss was touring on Alive 2, they said that on one of the riders, they said that everywhere they played, I don't know if this is true or not, but everywhere that they played, there had to be an Olympic-sized pool backstage. They were that. I mean, at one point, they were just
Really?
trying to overdo it and ask for, you know, if we're playing, you know, there's got to be this, this, and this, and they wanted an Olympic-sized pool.
I'm pretty sure that didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they said it in some interview.
Yeah.
Now I sound like a dumbass because it does sound stupid when I say it.
Right.
But I remember reading that somewhere that they said that when they were asked about abusing powers when they were that big, they all got kind of into it and started.
Was Alive 1? Some of it was here in
Oh yeah,
Davenport,
there's
right?
yeah. It was
Yeah.
at the was it RKO?
RKO, I think.
Yeah.
RKO back
Yep.
But that wasn't a live
Or
record.
was it the call? Because I thought when they
It was
released
an
You Wanted the
RKO
Best,
from what I understand.
you got the best, they released something. I thought he said call ballroom.
Right, and then there's somebody that keeps telling me that you can hear him like, all right, all right,
Cities.
Quad Cities
Yeah,
or something.
and
I don't hear it.
And let me go rock and roll.
Is it?
Yeah.
They say all right, Quad Cities or
It
hello,
sure
Quad
sounds
Cities.
like it.
Because that's like the whole thing. I've never heard that before.
It sure sounds like it.
Okay. Anyway, so Live 1 wasn't a live record. It was redone in the studio.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I mean, I guess they might have taken some drum tracks from. I mean, because from what I understand, the behind the music or
Right.
the ultimate albums or whatever on VH1.
That's a cool show, actually.
I know, I dig it. I've got my whole DVR is full of it. Anyway, they said that they kept maybe a drum part on one, and then they'd go do the guitars and the vocals and all that stuff in the studio because they were jumping around in their outfits. They said that they couldn't play a whole song through without a mistake. There's just no way that was going to happen. They were more interested in how they looked. You know,
Sure.
and they were bonking notes and missing backups and stuff, but yeah, most of that was a studio record.
That could explain some of their YouTube footage nowadays.
Oh man, Paul's
Isn't
voices.
how much pressure is that though on a band? Like everybody can capture it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You know, I'm so old that when people hold up their phone like this, I try to hold still and like point at the camera, and then I realize they're filming, and I'm standing there for like 2 minutes going, I gotta get back to the microphone in a second. And you know,
Snap it.
You're waiting for
Snap
a flash, right? Like, come on, people.
Well,
And then you're like, well, how bad did I suck during this song? Because this is gonna be on YouTube tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, look at Brian's band. You know, and the sound sucks. It's a cell phone recording. The vocals are all out of key and flat sounding. You know, and I'm doing Paul Stanley moves and shit, and it's all over YouTube. I hate it. I hate that you can do that now.
Yeah.
It's a blessing and a curse because I can do this show. Thank God for technology. I can do this show, but you know, technology can kiss my ass when you can have a video of me sucking, being drunk somewhere on YouTube tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Instantly.
Did we ever figure out how I got in Mars Electric?
We have no
you
clue.
We have no idea.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah, what's going on?
All right, I know where we left off. So I do the audition for Ice Cold July, right?
There we go, yes.
That fucking band was awesome. I'm telling you. I auditioned for Ice Cold July. Bing, 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 bing. Oh, we were supposed to drink or something.
Now he's a game show host.
Yeah, what's going on over here?
I was the first guy to audition. They fly me down from Iowa. I just got the fucking CD in Co-op in Clinton a week ago, you know.
For Blue Ice October.
Ice Cold
Oh,
July.
Ice Cold July. That's right.
Ice cold beer. No. So I auditioned. And the best part about it was they were like, "Don't play it like the record." And I'm like, "Okay," because I do some other shit, you know. And
right.
So they're like, "All right, tomorrow we're gonna meet we're gonna go over these 4 songs and a couple of ones we're working on. And I'm like, okay, whatever, you know. And so I'm driving with the bass player and his girlfriend, and the singer and the guitar player in the car ahead, and they pull over. And so they pull over behind them, and they're like, so we get out and we're like, what's up, man? Well, if you want the gig, it's yours. And I'm like, what? Fuck yeah, what do we do now?
On the side of the highway? Just
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go to a bar and drink.
Yeah.
And then I later found out that Miles, the trumpet player,
Miles Davis?
yeah, his son was going to audition for the band.
Oh.
Aaron.
Oh, okay.
He was in the band Bloodline with Joe Bonamassa. Someone from the Doors, someone from this and that.
Gotcha.
Miles Davis' son, I
Was going to audition.
technically beat him out.
Nice.
Did he even get a chance to try out though?
God damn it, you're busting my balls again, Jesus. That's all I got. That's my one shot.
And so you're on the side of the highway, and you guys are not hugging each other, and everybody's happy because we're gonna be big. Were they signed at the time, or?
Yeah, to a small label in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
So here's where it all comes from. Denver. Meeting Carl, and Carl's the bass player in Ice Cold July. Well, some things happen which I probably shouldn't talk about, but the band defunks. I was in Ice Cold July for about a year.
Okay.
Vinnie Paul from Pantera, you know, the Dimebag and Vinnie are always at our shows.
Oh.
He wants to produce the next album. So here they come. We'll be playing the Stone Pony and wherever it was, Greenville, Dallas, or something. Here comes this fucking dude with the pink goatee. Fucking like that. I'm like, that's a Pantera motherfucker, man, you know? And I'm like, fucking playing the drums, and then what was funny though is all of a sudden there'd be like 50 people in front of the stage, and he'd be like, and they go up, do shots, he'd take everybody up there, everybody would leave, but they'd come back. But it was funny. He's like, he'd be like that, and he's like this. Boop, they all go up. And then, like, some of them would come back, you know, and some of them would probably, you know, drink shots with them or whatever. But I'd run into those guys all the time. Vinny had a bar called The Basement in Dallas. And that's where Walk video is filmed and shit.
All right.
We were the last band to play there before they closed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Ugly Kid Joe's video, one of them was filmed there.
Interesting.
JFK was shot in Dallas.
Jesus Christ. He was shot in Dallas, wasn't he? It's all weird. There's a football team from there, too. They suck, but yeah.
Cowgirls?
Yeah.
Cowgirls?
You're going to help him out. You're going to help him out.
Well, I know he's a Red.
Don't help him out.
Yeah.
I'm not part of that Americans team.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's go back there. Let's go into the dark abyss. Let's go into the dark abyss. So 1 minute you're on the road, things are going good, you're running dime bag, people are twirling batons, and things are cool, and you're getting tube socks up the yin yang everywhere you go.
I still have some, man.
It's like a dispenser.
So all these great things are happening, right? And then
I got so many fucking tube socks, I don't know what to do with it.
So when did the ride stop, and how did it stop?
Okay, it went like this. We were rolling, keeping the machine rolling, right? That's all that they ever said. You know, hey, you're on a per diem, so I know you know we made this much money on this show, but we gotta keep the machine going. Like, but anyways, so we're going, and they're like, hey, Sony wants to put you in the studio and see what your new batch of songs are gonna sound like. We're like, okay, you know, and so you're 3 years on the road, and they put us in a studio in Chicago, which is right here, you know, and we were playing, like, we had a string of shows, like, I don't know, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and I had a buddy who was just going through a breakup or divorce or whatever, and he decided to come out on the road with us, and so I'd go in and lay down my drum tracks. I did the whole all the drum tracks in a day. And let's see, let me tell you this. I didn't think that they would see the light of day.
Right.
Having said that, I'm not ashamed of them or anything, but I don't give a whole lot of thought to them, and I just kind of it's supposed to be demos, right? Well, it later that's the second Mars Electric album.
Okay.
It got released overseas at Tenzia Records, and a lot of people really dig that album because it captured the band more than the first one. Now, the first album, we were
Beautiful Something.
Yeah, we were trying to be, at the time, which wouldn't have done any good anyways, but we were kids growing up on Motley Crue, and we wanted to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had a guy that produced it, Greg Archilla, name drop.
Yeah, we got him all over the floor in here so far.
Well, I liked him. He was great, but he never saw the band live.
Oh.
And he just worked with Matchbox 20 and Collective Soul, so he tried to make us sound like that because that's probably what the guys higher up were telling him. It's such a fucking game. It's disgusting.
Right.
And not against Greg, because he did a great job, but he's just doing his job because he's listening to other people and blah blah blah. But the one thing that I thought was wrong was he never saw us live.
Mm-hmm.
How do you produce a fucking band and never saw them live?
Right.
So anyways, so fast forward to we're on the road doing our second one, and a lot of people like that one because it captures the band in a live mode better, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it was really like bam 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 bam. I mean, I think we were in the studio 2 days. I think Jacob flew back and maybe did some vocals. Actually him and I, there's 2 songs on that's just him and I. He even played the bass and shit. And I think I might have even some vocals or something. I'm not sure.
That's my favorite part, man.
I was going to bring that up.
Oh, that's funny too, because on Beautiful Something, the last when you get in this big corporation and business and all this, and then it comes down to it, if you don't produce vocals on your record, you don't get your health benefits. So our last song, I had to go or something.
Really?
Wait a minute. You said that if you don't sing on the record, you don't get health benefits from the record company?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Really?
And that's a fact.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I didn't know that.
Wow. No.
So you have to have you have to do something vocally on the record to be included on the health insurance.
Yeah.
Why am I so fascinated with this?
I don't know.
This is an awesome concept.
Yeah. That's interesting.
And all I did was a scream.
And that
Okay.
that counted.
But it's fucking an awesome scream.
I'm sure it is.
It's an awesome one.
It's a last song. They weren't even gonna put it on the record. It's the only song on the whole fucking album that they didn't put in Pro Tools and candy up.
Okay.
Oh, really?
That's a professional sounding record, the one that I heard. I mean, you were on the big ride. You know what I mean? That was the shit. You know, I remember riding around with Bill, and Bill does wonderful shit. He produces well and he writes great songs, and that was right up his alley. And I could see Bill kind of going, man, you know what I mean? This is right up, you know, this is awesome. It reminded me kind of Bill's writing. You know, because Bill can write monster hits.
Oh yeah.
I mean, monster hooks and all that stuff. He's a great songwriter. I mean, aside from anything else that anybody would think of him, the man can write songs. And when we were listening to that stuff, we were going, these are good. You know what I mean? And you were on the big ride. It sounded good. It was, you know.
If nothing else, I have some great experiences during the recording process because we recorded at Criteria in Miami. That's where and you walk in there. And it's gold, platinum records. It's fucking unbelievable. And you're just a kid going, holy just like looking at these, you're like, I still look at this stuff right here, and I'm like, fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, these are like gold and platinum albums that were done here, right? The Bee Gees have Studio D.
Oh, okay.
There, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I got some good stories about this place too. And gosh dang, Hotel California was some of it was recorded there in Florida.
Wow.
Weird.
Yeah.
Some of Fleetwood Mac Rumors. Was
okay.
the one that I think is the coolest of all, we were taking a break, and we had this studio assistant. His name was Kieran, and he liked to partake in the, they called it Crippy. It was marijuana that was in Miami, and I mean, it didn't look like marijuana that... I'm not a big...
You've never seen marijuana?
Oh, I've seen it, but I'm not a big connoisseur, but it looked like it had like fucking ice crystals on it. It was like this big fucking thing, and I don't know. And so we're in this tape vault, they call it.
Mm-hmm.
And see, I was done in like 3 or 4 days, and I had a paid vacation there, and it was fucking great. I'm an Iowa kid in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
All I did was just hang out and get fucked up, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I'm drinking. There was a 7-Eleven, which I thought was odd because we don't have 7-Elevens around here anymore.
Right.
Well, we do again, but we didn't for a long time then.
Oh, they're back here?
Oh, yeah. We got 7-Elevens now, don't we?
Yeah. They're coupled with something else, but yeah, BP or something.
Taco Bell, Kentucky
Probably,
Fried Chicken, 7-Eleven. Yeah,
Long
anyway.
John Silver's. So I would go get a Slurpee in the morning and
Slurpee.
watch them put guitar tracks on.
Yeah.
You know, and so we're taking a break, Kieran and this guy, and I don't even know. That'd be interesting to find out where he is, but maybe he'll appear after watching this episode. But so he's
Nobody watches these episodes, Matt.
Oh,
We're just doing this for fun.
We watch it ourselves like 500 times.
we're the only 3 people.
That's it.
Because I watch it.
This is it.
Well, me and you.
Well, so he's smoking a little wacky,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I get on one of my fucking long stories about something. I'm drinking. I'm like, I put my fucking beer on this fucking thing. I didn't know what the fuck it was, you know, and I'm like, oh, and he's laughing. He's like, you might want to get your beer off that. That's like Julio Iglesias Studer tape machine, man. It's like $350,000. I'm like, that's an expensive end table. I'm like, whoa. But then you look around, and that's where James Brown recorded "I Feel Good."
Really?
No
in that
shit.
tape vault.
Wow.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And Dr. Dre was in a studio there when we were there, and Collective Soul. It's pretty cool, man. And
Yeah.
So Matt, when the shit started to kind of come back down, and did you come home to Clinton then, or
yeah,
the band just decided, okay, this ain't where
for
the
a
label
while
is.
I was flying out of Clinton to shows,
Okay.
here and there, and I just my sister owns a business, a restaurant. I started working there, and I started doing flooring, and I just put my head down, and I was like, this is what I have to do. Just work, make money. That's what I thought, you know what I mean? And I had some job offers.
And Mars Electric was still going on here?
Yeah, I would fly. And I had some job offers from some okay big bands, you know, and I'm like, well, let me hear what you're doing, you know, and they'd send me something. I'm like, fuck that, it sucked. And
So you don't want to name any of the bands then, since you just said
really.
it sucked?
Yeah, because...
So Kiss offered you a job. Wanted to be on Psycho
Kiss.
Circus.
Yeah.
No.
You didn't want to put the
some
makeup
of,
on.
like a lot of the Florida-based bands I didn't like. Well, one in particular, Creed. They didn't offer me a job, but
I was gonna say, like, seriously, dude.
Yeah, right?
well,
I think you made some bad decisions.
No, a friend of mine's. Well, there's some like that though, that actually offered me a job, and I'm like, I didn't like the music.
Oh, really?
I'm not gonna say anything about it because it's not important.
You'd have felt like you were flipping burgers.
Maybe.
Yeah, you gotta play. If you're gonna play something, you've gotta like love it, right?
Well, I will tell you one band I got offered a job in. And well, that's probably why my brain's telling this story, I guess. Creed was playing the Mark. And it was the week that Dave Williams from...
Drowning Pool.
Yep. I couldn't think of the fucking name.
That's why I'm here.
He was in a band called Fugly. in Dallas when I was in Ice Cold July.
Mm.
And me and him clicked. We were just, and he was a fucking sweet human being. I mean, he was awesome. And he called me when I'm laying down drum tracks in Miami for Mars Electric, and he's like, I'm starting this new band. I want you to be the drummer. And I'm like, man, I'm like, I'm at Criterion fucking Miami laying drum tracks down. Yeah. I mean, the fucking room's like $2,500 a day. And they're cutting my drums, you know. It's like, and he's like, all right, man, I don't know. I think this is gonna do something. Like, I wish you the best of luck, man. I'm gonna try this, you know. The week Dave died,
okay,
Brett Hessel was filling in with Creed at the Mart. I'm not the fucking sure why I'm.
Do you do drugs, Matt?
I'm just
no. Well, I saw Brett before. He was like buying John Deere t-shirts and shit. I'm like, Brett Hessel, and he's like. So we went backstage and hung out with them and shit. But yeah, that was like a week or two before Dave died. But yeah, that would be the one band. And I don't know. I don't know if I would have been in that band if it would have done anything. You know what I mean? But
you seem really reluctant to like talk and kind of praise yourself or show any kind of ego at all. I mean, you got to, you know, all the stories that you're telling, you've got to be proud of that, man. That's something that nobody could ever take from you. And, you know, we love hearing this stuff because, you know, I like to hear stories that I would have never heard, you know, if you weren't asked. And I'm sure you don't walk down the street tapping people on the shoulder. Hey, you know, I used to, you know, and I know you're not that kind of guy, but, you know, we love the stories and it's really cool, you know, to hear you talking about it and stuff. And you don't have to feel like you're name dropping or anything. You were, like I said, you were on the big ride, so there's going to be some names and there's going to be some experiences that everybody's not going to be able to relate to. But that's part of why this show exists,
right?
You know what I mean? Is to talk to dudes like you that you know have done some of these things, and you know, and you know what, Matt, you
getting a bowling alley over here.
If anybody deserves it, it would be you. As far as a drummer that goes and does these types of things, there's certain people that are in that league, you know what I mean? And it's a small, tight team of drummers that I think are whoop ass around here. And you're in that group. And I won't say where you're at in it because I'd lose some friends probably, but
there's some fucking good drummers around here though.
Nowadays, dude, this band right here, 1152.
Is he pretty good?
Oh my god, dude! These kids these days. I'm not saying he's a kid. He's got to be. I don't know. He's younger than me, so he's a kid. Right. But yeah, Eric Flores of 1152 is a fucking stomping drummer. I cannot. I mean, the style of music they're doing is you know, it calls for a lot of weird fills and off time stuff, and like, you know, modern music's a little different now for drummers. It seems like it's really drummer. But Jesus Christ, that kid, and there's just so many of these kids coming out now that are just phenomenal. So you say you came pretty close to being in Glen Allen at one time?
Well, there was talks about it because I think Bob couldn't or didn't want to go over to Europe, and they put an album out and it was doing pretty well. That would have been pretty cool. I was all about it. I was like telling all my buddies, I'm going to fucking Europe, man. They don't shave their armpits. The chicks, that is.
I remember Bill saying that, you know, something about Europe, and he said, oh, no, you're going with me. You're going with me. And to think of me, you, and Pfeiffer in a band together, you know, I loved playing Bill's cover, our originals, I'm sorry. Every time he had like a big original show, I wanted to be part of it. I told him, dude, you ain't got to pay me nothing. You know what I mean? I like playing these tunes, you know. And so, you know, he's a good songwriter. I like playing that stuff.
I've tried to write him like some text. Like sometimes I'm like, man, let's write an album together. We don't have to call it Glen Allen. I want to help write.
You do write? So okay.
I'm like, let's just see what happens. Don't have to call it anything, you know?
Right.
But
that'd be cool.
So all the bands who you have played with, who's your favorite?
Time to lose some friends, buddy.
That's it.
Good question, Jeff.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know,
way to start shit.
That's what I do.
I know what my favorite was.
This isn't about you.
Playing with Ice Cold July, I cannot believe. Well, here's the bad part about it. nobody that I know around here saw me play with that band. And that sucks. And that probably was the strongest. It was probably like the band.
What the fuck was that?
Pork chop. It was, oh man, that's bad.
Dude,
Really?
I'm gonna have to get a new mic now. It's gonna stink like pork chops and sauce, whatever. Is it all right?
That was the band where you kind of look behind. It's hard being in a band because there may be a weak link or something. And
There's usually a weak link somewhere.
and you know what?
And usually I'm that guy.
I've probably fucking been the weak link, and I don't care.
Right.
I don't think you've ever been a weak link, Matt.
Oh, probably. But
No, you're full of shit. There's no way that you could be a weak link in a band. No way. No way.
Oh, I'm sure.
Really?
sure.
Unless you're playing in like Dream Theater, then maybe Petrucci or something might.
That would be really bad, man, in that band. That would definitely be the weak link.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tune their guitars.
Yeah, but that's not what it takes anymore. I mean, for somebody to be a good drummer, they don't have to be a show off that way. It's really the overall essence and the presence of the drummer to
Right.
me. You know what I mean? You could be playing a straight 4/4, but if you play it to where I'm excited to watch you play it, because
Yeah.
there's so many drummers that just kind of,
Yeah, fuck that.
you know what I mean? They're just kind of like getting through the night, looking around.
Mm-hmm.
Doop de doop, doop de doop, doop de doop. You know what I mean? Who gives a shit about that, man?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you get, that's why Motley Crue stood out so much, is because Tommy Lee was playing it like he meant it.
Yeah.
And he was, hitting from up here, and you
Yeah.
know, and it made you notice the drummer.
When you were talking about the fight scenes and
Too Young to Fall in Love.
Right.
yeah, well, I think the same people choreographed them in the Kiss movie.
Oh. Might have.
What the fuck? That was 2 feet away from his chin, man.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a chick too. They're beating the shit out of a chick.
Are we still talking about the same video?
Yeah.
My favorite part of that is at the end, or well, there's a couple of favorite parts. Is where like it shows the band and Nikki Sixx is always like this, you know what I mean, like throwing devil horns and shit,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then at the end, when of course it's Tommy Lee eats some of the rice and he he throws it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's my favorite part.
Yeah.
I like that. I was like, I still want to be them, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know of Butch Walker.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Soft Gang and Marvelous 3.
Yeah. See, at the time, all I knew of him was the singer in Marvelous 3. Now he's become.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, he's a
Producer.
songwriter for everybody.
Songwriter,
Yeah.
He has a great book. It's called Drinking with Strangers. It's a really good read.
Butch does?
Yeah.
Really?
And it shows a plaque. They had a place at that bar that was his spot, and I think I know where it was because that's where I met him. He's like, "Hey man, I just gotta tell you." And this was 98, 99, I don't know, 2000 maybe. I'm not even sure. He's like, "You're the best rock and roll drummer I've seen in a long time," and I was like, I don't know what to fucking say. I was like, "Man, I like your shoes." That's exactly what I said. I didn't know what to fucking say.
Wow.
You like his shoes.
I mean,
Yeah.
he gave me the best compliment at the time because there wasn't.
And-
all the drummers were just.
Yeah.
And
And
I
he-
was trying to bring it, you know?
he went to the next town and was like, I met this drummer.
What a fucking idiot.
I met this drummer, and I thought he was really good. Too bad, he's gay, but he, because he noticed my shoes.
Yeah.
But
he
I mean,
likes curtains.
and what does curtains have to do with being gay?
Well, you talk about Paul Stanley going curtain shopping when he's on a day off. And
It
your
was
question is-
it was beef drapes, not curtains.
And by the way, it's pronounced Paul Stanley.
Sorry.
Stanley.
So what do you got going on now as far as musically?
Yeah,
What do
well,
you-
first of all, when you came off we keep getting to the thing where the Mars Electric thing stops, and you decided you just didn't want to play. It was that. Was there some heartbreak there?
I guess.
I mean, going from because you go from cog to cog of the machine, and then you don't realize how high you are until you have to stop, right, and come back and play in a shitty band with Brian Miner, or the idea of it. I know what happened. You're like, how did I end up here at Lions in some bar at Lions talking to this butthole about doing a Motley Crue tribute?
Here's the
he don't
worst-
even have blonde hair.
The worst part, and that's not even it. The worst part about it was, I went to work for my sister's restaurant, and I just put my head down. I worked. I worked.
You gotta do what you gotta do,
2
man.
jobs, and
it's admirable.
Here's the worst part: they're blaring the radio,
Mm-hmm.
and every fucking band that comes out of that radio is a band that I was just on the road with.
Oh.
That sucked.
Yeah.
Papa Roach. What's that fucking shitty ass fucking band? And I'll say this. 3 Doors Down.
Okay.
Fucking goobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that you didn't, because usually when something falls apart like that, you know, the parts, the best parts of it, I don't know how to say that without, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but like a drummer like you would be a commodity that would get just eaten up once you're exposed like that.
I guess it's just what you choose to do, you know. I mean, I had some opportunities. I could have done a couple things, but I don't know, for whatever reason, it happens for whatever, you know, and I'm okay with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, when you're talking about, like, a moment where you're bitter or whatever, it's like, oh, man, when I hear these bands we were right there with, and they're blowing up.
Yeah.
When I got the singer from Papa Roach, after we just did our set, and they're about to go on stage, he's like, "You're fucking old school, man. You're fucking awesome, dude." You know, when you got that guy fucking telling you that,
right.
and then and now you're hearing him on the radio.
You were the shit. There's a few drummers around here. You know, John Nelson is one of for rock drummers. I don't want to exclude some people, but from my experience and my exposure, you know, there's a lot of good drummers. But the rock drummers that I thought that for sure would have got picked up by a road band would have been you, my drummer Terry, and another one, Johnny Nelson.
Yeah.
We call him Johnny Nelson. That's what I call him, because he needs a song. He's got that kind of prowess. You know what I mean? Just Johnny Nelson.
Oh, he's great, man. I like him.
Yeah, and I'm sad that I didn't meet him and become friends with him until later on, like, because I didn't know him that well when the cheese thing was going on, and back in the day,
right,
when we were playing in the circuit and all that, and he was always in a band that was doing well and had some sort of prestige, and I was just this little like snot nosed little bowl cut kid.
The first time I ever played the Quad Cities, I think at Mr. Rogers. I don't know if it was Rock Pig or Vaduz. I'm not sure, but boom, blasted through the snare. The fucking thing was shit. He went home and got one and let me use it.
Really?
And I thought, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Man.
What sticks out when you think back, and the first memory that comes in your head, the best memory of playing drums in a road band, what comes to your mind?
I would say our CD release party in Birmingham, Alabama. That was where the Mars Electric was from. And my parents from up here in Iowa rented a bus and brought a shit pile of my friends down. Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
That's really cool of them, by the way.
Yeah, that is.
It was cool. It was an old like Beethoven's type club, like
right?
An old supermarket.
Oh, okay.
And we were trying to do it out, like brought pyro in and all this shit, and the coolest thing was I was like 1,000 miles from home and I saw all these familiar faces right up front, and I'd say, man, it was when I was back after it all went wherever, and that was really when the internet was getting where you could, you know, we had a website and shit, and I was looking at pictures and I was like, oh cool, look at that picture, and they had a barricade, and I like zoomed it out, and there's my fucking dad in that picture, like in the foreground.
Really?
And he's just like, we just look fucking proud, and that was cool, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
When because you told me that you didn't even want to drum for a while, and the thought of Matt Finn not drumming to me just didn't make any fucking sense at all. Because it doesn't matter if you're in an arena or at a club down the street, Matt Finn should drum.
Oh, see, that's the thing that sucks. I didn't care. I wouldn't have cared I can't get that back. I just wanted to perform.
Yeah.
It didn't matter where.
Right.
That's what I lost. And it's probably as much my fault as I blame it on the business, but it's like, God damn them, you know? Well, fuck me. I should have stepped up and done it, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's all I ever wanted to do, is play in front of people.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, you've done a lot more than me or Jeff or anybody, you know, 99.9% of the people that pick up an instrument. And like I said, them stories and them memories can never be taken from you. You know what I mean? You know, you're a family man, you're a married man, you've got a son, and you know, life goes on, and that never lasts forever anyway. So I want to talk about the Vaduz thing that's coming up on the 31st. You guys are playing outside?
Yep.
Okay, because I got to come up there and get a video of you drumming.
Yeah, because my video wasn't very good.
Well, you did it with your phone, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the audio didn't come through, and you know, I was like, he's just too good of a drummer to have a spot for him on a cell phone.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, so
I thought it was pretty good. Actually, I didn't do many takes. It was one.
Yeah.
And I just like I set it up on the stand.
Really?
Yeah, I saw that. I'm glad that you put 5 seconds into doing a spot for my show. But
ouch. Gosh.
No, it's cool, man. We're glad that you were here, and you know, I think that we should close the show out with a Vaduz tune. Matt Finn, thank you so much for being on the show,
Thanks,
man.
bud.
It's you know,
Pleasure.
It's been a pleasure,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
And I can't wait to see you on the 31st. We're gonna come up and check you out and watch you drum, man. It's been a while since it's been a few minutes since I've seen you drum. So I'm totally looking forward to that. And thanks for being on the show, buddy.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you guys.
We'll see you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
We'll try.
Now, it's 9 o'clock in the city.